Hey guys, this is Nils at Idaho Pulse, and today I wanted to get into some of the reasons why you may want to live in Meridian and some of the reasons why you might want to live in Boise. Both are amazing places to live. Both have their pluses. Both have differences as well. So I wanted to get into the differences. Some may work better for you and some may work better for somebody else, but they're both right next to each other. So I think if those are your two choices, is Meridian or Boise, you're not going to really go wrong in either place. However, after watching this video, I think that you're going to have a little more clear idea of which one might be better for you, your family, your dogs, whatever you're thinking about moving with. And so let's get into it. If you could like and subscribe to the channel, that helps us out tremendously. It helps us get our information in front of you. You can also check out our website is idahopulse.com. If you want to contact us, you can leave us comments. You can contact us directly through the website. Call us, text us, whatever you want to do. We do real estate, so if you need help, we can kind of help show you some areas, show you some homes that are for sale, explain the market to you. So again, idahopulse.com, like and subscribe, and let's get into the 5 things about Boise and Meridian that we think that is important for you to know. All right, guys, so number 1, we're going to talk about something that everybody's asking. Everybody wants to know this, and for good reason. It's the home prices. What's the difference? Like if I go to Boise versus I go to Meridian, is it going to be a big difference in price? If we're just talking about price, you're not going to be in for a huge difference, I don't think. It all depends. So there's a different kind of home available in Meridian than there is in Boise. Boise is a more established area for the most part. So if you're in Boise and you're closer to the downtown area, and even within, I don't know, a 15-minute drive of, like, say, the Capitol, you're going to be in a more established neighborhood. There's not really a lot of newer housing areas. So the price of the house could be a little bit less, but you're also getting something that's more dated. You're getting an older layout. You're getting a physically older home that might need a little bit more repairs, might cost you a little bit more money to maintain and live in. Maybe it's not as well insulated as the newer houses are. Maybe it's not going to do as well in the winter or in the summer. Your energy bills might be higher, so on and so forth. But the actual average price of a house in Meridian is going to be about $560,000. And this changes quite a bit from the beginning of 2022 to right now, where we're towards the end of 2022. The prices have dropped since then, and so things change quite often. So depending on when you're watching this video, it may be a little different. So consult Google or consult some real estate websites, or you can give us a call actually, and we can tell you the latest numbers. And that could change a little bit. But as far as Boise goes, Boise is typically about $20,000 to $40,000 less than the average in Meridian. And of course, there are areas of Boise, like if you get into the North End, which you can watch one of our videos, our tour videos of Boise, and we have one about North End as well. You can see that those areas are probably the most expensive real estate in Boise, and some of the most expensive real estate in Idaho in general. So if you're looking at moving to the Boise area, Treasure Valley area, whatever it may be, and you're wondering, is this a bubble? Is this going to pop to nothing? You know, I can't speak for sure on what's going to happen in the future. I don't think anybody can. However, I think that the reason why people are moving here, there's not going to be a whole lot of change in what's going on in those other states. People are still planning on moving out, and they're looking for a nice, clean, comfortable, family-friendly place to move to. And so I think that the housing price of each of these places is not going to change a whole lot. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay, so number 2 on our list is going to be the crime rate. So is Boise safe? Is Meridian safe? Which one is technically safer by the numbers? So let's start with Boise. So according to the numbers on your screen there, the Boise crime rates, which is as current as we could get, this is based on the end of 2021, we have 193 assaults versus the national average is 283. Murder is 1.7 versus a national average of 6.1. Rape is 73.5 versus 40, which is the national average, which that one kind of surprised me actually. So Boise's almost double what the national average is for rape. Robbery is quite a bit lower, so 23.8 compared to 135 for the national. Burglary 207 versus 500. Theft is 1,300 versus 2,000. And motor vehicle theft is 120 versus 284. So these numbers kind of give you an idea of what the Boise crime rate would be. And then we have on your screen there the Meridian crime rates. So the Meridian crime rate, assault is 109 versus 285, murder is 0.8 versus 6, rape is 42 versus the average is 40, robbery is 5 versus the average is 135, burglary 134 versus 500, theft is 661 versus 2,000 roughly, and then motor vehicle theft is 48 versus 284. So if you're contrasting the Meridian numbers versus the Boise numbers, it does not take a mathematician or a statistical engineer to figure out that these numbers are significantly lower than the numbers that are in Boise. Okay, so number 3 would be homeless. Now, I know a lot of people don't like talking about homeless, but coming from the state of California like I did, or even visiting Washington, going to Seattle, going to Portland, homelessness is a major issue for a lot of people, and it's the reason why a lot of people leave the places where they're at. And so I wanted to kind of get into homeless. Unfortunately, there was not a lot of numbers on Meridian specifically. I can tell you just from, again, living in the Meridian area, going to Meridian almost every single day, working in Meridian, doing things with Meridian, having friends that live in Meridian, I haven't seen or heard of a single homeless person in Meridian. I haven't seen anybody pushing a cart. I haven't seen any tents. I haven't seen any kind of real graffiti or anything that would indicate anything like homelessness. Nobody's begging for anything. There's nobody holding signs, nothing like that. So I would say it's 0, but I can't find any numbers on it. Looking at Boise though, if you drive into Boise, now if you're comparing Boise to someplace like San Diego, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle, these are all places that I'm intimately familiar with because I either used to live there or I used to visit there a lot. This place is nothing like that. If you go to Boise, you will see a couple people holding signs and stuff like that. You will see tents. Boise has a very interesting way of dealing with the homeless population. You're not allowed to be sleeping on the street or on the street after a certain time. I think it's 10 p.m. if I remember correctly, without the homeless shelters being full. So if the homeless shelters are not full and you're caught out on the street past a certain time, they will actually bring you in and give you a ticket or bring you in for the night or whatever they do. I'm not sure. But it's definitely something that they try to keep track of and they try to enforce. So there is a lot more homeless in Boise than in Meridian. There are no homeless shelters in Meridian at the moment as far as I know, and that's at the end of 2022. So just keep that in mind. That's kind of how the homeless situation goes in the Boise and the Meridian area. Okay, so the 4th thing on our list is going to be the schools. I think this is a big one for a lot of people. Not everybody has kids, I know this, but for a lot of people, they either have kids that are in school or they are thinking about having kids. And so this is something that a lot of people are going to want to know about. Let's get into the schools. Which one has a better school district? Technically, by the numbers, Boise Independent School District has a little bit better rating, but the West Ada County School District, which encompasses Meridian and a few other places around Meridian, that school district is not far behind. They're almost dead even as far as ratings go. So both of them have tremendous school districts. Along with the public school district, we also have a tremendous amount of charter schools and private schools in Meridian. So if you're looking at getting out of the main school district, there's a very large amount of charter schools which are free for you to attend. And there's also private schools, Christian schools, Catholic schools, that kind of stuff. And those are growing. There's a lot of those being built. There is a lot of people on waiting lists for those as of right now. So you may want to check before you decide to move here. If you have to go to a private school, you may want to check into that and try to get that lined out before you decide where you want to move. But we do have quite a few, and there are a lot being built right now that are slated to be open in the next couple of years. And the 5th thing that I wanted to do to compare the two is going to be activities that you can do in these places. So Meridian has a really nice outdoor mall area that has a movie theater, a bunch of nice restaurants, a big nice seating area. In the summertime, it's open with seating in the middle where you can kind of grab a bite and relax in the sun. And in the wintertime, that area where you'd usually be seated is a ice skating rink with a Santa's workshop and all that stuff. So that's one place that you can go. So another one would be Wahoo's Family Fun Center. That's another really nice place that's in Meridian. That's on the southern end by the freeway. And there's also a Top Golf that just got put in. I don't know if that's technically Boise or Meridian, but it's right next to Wahoo's. It's not that far away. It's right on the freeway. So that could be in both, actually. It's kind of right in the middle. We have Roaring Springs in Meridian. So Roaring Springs is a nice big water park. And of course, that's only open for about 3 or 4 months out of the year. But still, and when it's hot here, it's hot. So it's nice to have that. So that's something that's in Meridian as well, kind of right next to the Wahoo's there. Mountain biking, there's a lot of nice places to go as you go a little bit north. You go into some mountains, hiking areas. So that's a really nice thing that you can do in Meridian as well. Some nice outdoor activities. And also there's a lot of little lakes, little streams, ponds. You can go fishing. A lot of them are stocked already. So it's kind of fun to bring the kids. You can go out there and the kids can catch a fish or two. You can go to the Boise River, which runs all the way through Meridian. So that's another thing that you can do in this area that's free. And if we're talking about Boise now, the Greenbelt is a beautiful place that Idaho has, which you can go. It's on the river, and so that's a nice fun place to go take a walk, ride your bike, that kind of stuff. Boise has an art museum. Boise also has an aquarium if you wanted to go to an aquarium. Boise has the Capitol you can go visit. There's a zoo in Boise, the Boise Zoo. Bogus Basin is on the north end of Boise. That's where people can go either in the summertime. You can go mountain biking down the hill. You can go snowboarding and skiing in the winter. And so it's just a really fun, nice place to go hang out in the snow if you want to do that in the winter, or in the summertime, it's a nice place to go hiking or mountain biking in the summer. Boise also has some very nice parks. Ann Morrison Park and Esler Simplot Park are both nice places to go hang out in the summer. These places have places you can go kayaking, you can go swimming, there's wildlife there, and all sorts of things. Like we see beavers swimming in the water and stuff. It's just a really nice, fun place to hang out. They have a little sand beach area there you can hang out at Simplot Park. So there's a lot of really fun things to do in the Boise area as well as in the Meridian area. All right, so now you've watched this video. Hopefully you've got some kind of an idea. There's going to be certain things that are going to be more important to you and certain things that are more important to me and other people. And so it's important to kind of figure out what you're looking for. What's the most important thing? It's nice to write things down. Write down the top 3 things that you dislike about the area that you're moving from, if that's what you're doing, and figure out what is the most important thing, and then find out which place has those things that you were missing or doesn't have the things that you didn't like. It sounds redundant, but it's nice to actually write it down and take a look at it on paper. It kind of helps you evaluate what your priorities are. We actually did this and it helped us out a lot. We figured out what we didn't like about where we were from, which was Southern California or California in general, and kind of figured out what we liked about each area and what we really wanted and what was our number one priority. The nice thing about the market now in 2022, at the end of 2022, I should say, is that the market has changed quite a bit. Now it's more of a buyer's market. So in theory, if you're leaving a place that you're unhappy with, you're going to have a lot more options now than even I had a year ago when we moved here. We moved here when the market was absolutely booming and we had very few choices. You have a lot more choices now. So now that you've watched this video, hopefully you have an idea of kind of which of the 2 areas, if those are the 2 that you're considering. Both of them are fantastic options. If I had to choose, and I don't know if you're waiting for my opinion or not, I think I would choose Meridian hands down over Boise. It's a very nice place to live. It's very clean. It's very neat. There's no sign of crime. There's no graffiti. There's no homeless. It's a very nice, clean, open place. It just makes you feel good driving around in Meridian. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Like and subscribe if you can. That helps us out. Otherwise, we will see you next time. If you have any questions for us, IdahoPulse.com is where you want to go. We'll see you next time. Thank you.